Welcome to World Information HD, your go-to channel for jaw-dropping facts, rare treasures, and deep dives into the world's most remarkable items. In today's video, we're exploring the top 10 most valuable and rare U.S. Roosevelt dimes. These humble 10-cent coins have, in certain cases, sold for thousands, even hundreds of thousands, of dollars. From misprints to ultra-scarce proof strikes, get ready to discover which dimes could make you a millionaire if you happen to own one. Today, we'll journey deep into the fascinating world of United States coinage as we uncover the truth behind one very special dime, the 1985 P. Roosevelt 1 dime, a coin that might just be sitting quietly in your change jar, holding more value than you could ever imagine. To understand its worth, we must first travel back to the year 1985, a time of transformation in America. The economy was growing, technology was advancing rapidly, and the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing millions of coins for everyday use. In that year, the Philadelphia Mint struck tens of millions of Roosevelt dimes, each stamped with the letter P just above the date. These small dimes, made primarily of copper and nickel, were designed for circulation, with no one suspecting that some of them would later capture the attention of the entire numismatic community. The Roosevelt dime, named after President Franklin D. Roosevelt, had already been in circulation since 1946, honoring the man who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. It replaced the Mercury dime and quickly became a symbol of courage, leadership, and progress. However, by 1985, most people didn't pay much attention to dimes at all. After all, it was just 10 cents. But as collectors know, the smallest details can sometimes lead to the biggest discoveries. Now, what makes the 1985 P. Roosevelt dime so intriguing isn't just its history or design, it's the combination of rarity, condition, and minting anomalies that can transform an ordinary 10-cent piece into a coin worth thousands. When the Philadelphia Mint produced these coins, slight variations, die errors, and strike imperfections sometimes occurred. Normally, such errors would go unnoticed, but in the world of coin collecting, these minute details can make all the difference. Some 1985 P dimes were discovered with weak strikes, where the image of President Roosevelt wasn't fully detailed. Others had what's known as die cracks, small raised lines on the coin caused by damage to the minting die. And in rare instances, certain examples showed off-center strikes, where the design isn't properly aligned, giving the coin an unusual, eye-catching appearance. Each of these variations can drastically affect a coin's value, especially if it remains in mint or uncirculated condition. Another fascinating detail is the composition. Like all modern dimes since 1965, the 1985 Roosevelt dime was made of a copper core clad in a nickel coating. But despite their modern appearance, collectors seek out dimes that have retained their original luster and have never been used in daily transactions. The fewer scratches, marks, or signs of wear a coin has, the higher its potential value. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, often sell for impressive prices when they achieve grades of MS 67 or higher, meaning mint state, with nearly perfect preservation. Imagine finding one of these shining examples in your coin collection, a dime that looks untouched by time, struck cleanly with full details, and bearing the subtle yet significant P mint mark below the date. That small letter indicates its birthplace, the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most important coin production facilities in the United States. It's the same mint that has created countless historic coins since the 1790s, and even today, it continues to be a hub for precision and craftsmanship. But not every 1985 P dime is worth a fortune. The real magic lies in the condition and in the possibility of error coins, those struck slightly off, missing elements, or showing doubling on the date or lettering. Such coins are incredibly scarce and sought after by dedicated collectors. When one of these exceptional dimes appears at an auction, it can attract intense bidding wars from numismatists eager to own a piece of minting history. One of the reasons these coins fascinate collectors so much is the idea that something so common, a coin that once jingled in a child's pocket or paid for a candy bar, could now be worth thousands. It's a reminder that treasures don't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes, they come in copper and nickel, hiding in plain sight. So how can you tell if your 1985 P. Roosevelt dime is special? Start by examining it closely under good lighting. Look at the edges, the lettering, and the fine lines on Roosevelt's portrait. If you notice any doubling, misalignment, or signs that the coin's features look slightly different from the norm, you might have something rare. Next, check the condition. The fewer scratches and signs of wear, the better. Coins that still have their original, mint shine, are often the ones that command the highest prices. Collectors also look for proof-like qualities, where the coin has a mirror-like surface and frosted details, though these are rare in circulation strikes. If you find one that looks unusually shiny or reflective, it could be worth having professionally graded. And here's another fascinating twist. Some 1985 dimes have been discovered with no mint mark at all, which can happen if the die used to strike the coins didn't have the P engraving properly applied. These no mint mark dimes are highly collectible and have been known to sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and rarity. Over the years, collectors have shared incredible stories of finding valuable coins hidden in pocket change or tucked away in jars. A small, overlooked dime from 1985 could easily be one of those life-changing discoveries. With so many millions produced, only a handful are likely to have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, and those are the coins that auction houses and private collectors are willing to pay big money for. The Roosevelt dime series itself holds a special place in American history. Its design, created by John R. Sinnock, was meant to capture the dignity and strength of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The reverse side features a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. Each tiny detail on this small coin tells a story, representing the enduring spirit of the nation. So, the next time you come across a dime from 1985, take a moment to look closer. It may seem like just another 10-cent coin, but within its tiny design lies the possibility of an extraordinary find. Coins like these remind us that history isn't just written in books, it's minted in metal, carried through generations, and sometimes rediscovered in the most unexpected places. Collectors often say that coin collecting is not just about value, it's about preserving stories, culture, and craftsmanship. Every coin, especially ones like the 1985 P. Roosevelt dime, connects us to a specific time in American life, to the workers in the mint who struck them, to the people who first spent them, and to the collectors who now treasure them. And if you happen to find one of these special dimes in excellent condition, consider having it appraised or graded. You never know when that small piece of history could become your own hidden treasure, one that turns out to be worth far more than anyone would expect. Because somewhere out there, in a drawer, in a wallet, or perhaps in your very own pocket, there could be a 1985 P. Roosevelt dime waiting to be discovered. And one rare example of this unassuming 10-cent coin has shocked collectors by reaching an astounding value of $33,889. So keep your eyes open, your coins close, and your curiosity alive, because sometimes, history's most valuable treasures are the ones you hold without even realizing it. In the world of coin collecting, every small piece of metal tells a story. Some coins are merely spent and forgotten, but others, rare and valuable, capture the attention of collectors and historians alike. Among them, the 2005 D. Roosevelt dime has gained surprising attention in recent years. While it may appear like just another 10-cent coin in your pocket, this small silver-colored piece can be worth far more than its face value. Today, we'll explore the fascinating history behind this dime, how to identify valuable versions, and why certain 2005 D mint mark Roosevelt dimes are selling for staggering amounts of money. So, grab your change jar and stay tuned, because you might be holding a fortune without even knowing it. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He had led the country through the Great Depression and World War II, and as a tribute to his leadership and his work toward the March of Dimes campaign against polio, his portrait was chosen to replace the Mercury dime. Designed by John R. Sinnock, the Roosevelt dime features the late president's profile facing left, with the word, Liberty, engraved along the rim and the motto, In God We Trust. placed beneath his chin. On the reverse side, you'll find a torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing peace, freedom, and strength, symbols that continue to hold meaning decades later. Now, let's fast forward to 2005. This was the year the Denver Mint produced millions of Roosevelt dimes. At first glance, it might seem like just another modern coin, nothing special at all. However, collectors know that rarity and value often hide in the details. The 2005 Roosevelt dime is no exception. While billions were minted, a select few came out with unique errors or superior conditions that make them incredibly sought after by numismatists across the United States. One of the main reasons the 2005 Roosevelt dime has become a hot topic in recent years is due to the condition and minting errors that occurred that year. Let's talk about condition first. Coins are graded based on a system that ranges from poor P1 to mint state MS70. Most circulated coins fall somewhere between grades 10 and 40. However, a Roosevelt dime in mint state, especially with a deep, mirror-like shine and flawless surfaces, can be extremely rare. Collectors pay premium prices for dimes that have never been used and are preserved in pristine condition. Then there are the errors. These are the real treasures that can turn an ordinary dime into a goldmine. Some 2005 Roosevelt dimes have been discovered with double die errors, where parts of the design, especially the lettering or Roosevelt's face, appear slightly doubled due to misalignment during the minting process. This kind of error is rare and instantly makes the coin stand out to collectors. Another known variety involves off-center strikes, where the coin's image is not properly aligned with the center, creating a crescent-like blank area. The more off-center it is, the more valuable it becomes, provided that the date and mint mark are still visible. There are also die cracks, where faint lines run across the surface due to small breaks in the minting die. While minor die cracks are common, dramatic or unique patterns can push the coin's value upward. What's fascinating about the 2005 Roosevelt dime is how it has managed to attract both modern collectors and old-school coin enthusiasts. Normally, newer coins take years, sometimes decades, to gain collectible status, but this dime defied expectations. The Denver Mint's production that year was sharp, but not flawless. A number of error coins slipped through quality checks and entered circulation, meaning that some people today might still have them sitting in old jars, drawers, or pocket change. But how can you tell if your 2005 Roosevelt dime is valuable? First, look closely at the mint mark. The D indicates it was made in Denver. Check for strong, sharp edges and clear detailing in Roosevelt's hair, facial features, and the torch on the reverse side. If the coin appears to have a slight doubling effect, off-center strike, or any strange pattern, don't ignore it. Those imperfections could mean serious money. It's also wise to look for coins that appear unusually shiny or have proof-like qualities, as some coins struck on specially prepared dies can have a deep, reflective surface. Many coin enthusiasts send their dimes to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC to verify authenticity and condition. Once graded, the coin is encased in a clear protective holder and labeled with its grade. Coins graded MS67 or higher, especially with visible errors, can command extraordinary prices in auctions. In fact, these coins often become the centerpiece of a collector's display. Another key aspect that determines a coin's value is demand. And in the case of the 2005 Roosevelt dime, demand has risen steadily due to increasing awareness through online marketplaces, collector forums, and YouTube videos. Stories of people finding rare coins in their pocket change have sparked a modern treasure hunt among coin enthusiasts. Social media platforms and numismatic websites have shared images and stories of lucky finds, fueling the curiosity of both beginners and experts. Collectors are particularly drawn to modern mint errors because they are tangible evidence of how even the most sophisticated minting systems can make fascinating mistakes. For some, collecting error coins is like owning a small piece of history where the U.S. Mint, an institution known for precision, briefly faltered. Each mistake tells a unique story, and that's part of what makes the 2005 Roosevelt dime so captivating. Now, let's talk about where to find these coins. You might be surprised, but many valuable 2005 Roosevelt dimes have been discovered in everyday circulation. People have found them in change from grocery stores, banks, and vending machines. Others have come across them while sorting through coin rolls from banks. Coin roll hunting, as it's called, has become a popular hobby. Collectors purchase rolls of dimes, nickels, or pennies, then examine each coin carefully with magnifying glasses or microscopes to find hidden gems. It's a thrilling, low-cost way to discover coins that could be worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. If you're serious about coin collecting, always handle your coins carefully. Use cotton gloves to avoid leaving fingerprints, and store them in protective holders to prevent scratches. Even minor blemishes can significantly reduce a coin's value. Also, stay informed by joining coin clubs, attending coin shows, and keeping up with auction results. Knowledge is your greatest tool when it comes to spotting rare varieties. The beauty of collecting coins like the 2005 Roosevelt dime lies not only in the potential financial gain, but also in the deep connection to history and craftsmanship. Each coin represents the art, technology, and culture of its era. From its original design inspired by Roosevelt's legacy to the modern minting techniques used today, the Roosevelt dime remains an enduring symbol of American pride and perseverance. So the next time you get change from a store, take a moment to look at your dimes. That small, shiny coin with a D mint mark from 2005 might not just be pocket change, it could be a rare collector's item waiting to be discovered. You never know when you might come across that special piece that turns an ordinary day into an extraordinary find. And now for the part everyone has been waiting for: the record value of one of these coins. Among the rarest examples, a pristine and error-free 2005 Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition, graded at the top of the mint state scale, once sold for an astonishing $25,555. So keep an eye on your change. You might be holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand. In the vast and glittering world of American coinage, few coins are as instantly recognizable and historically cherished as the Roosevelt dime. Small, elegant, and often overlooked, this 10-cent piece carries decades of American pride, craftsmanship, and hidden treasures waiting to be discovered by those who truly pay attention. Today, we are diving deep into one such hidden gem that has caught the attention of collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters alike: the United States of America 2007 D mint mark Roosevelt 1 dime. At first glance, it's easy to dismiss a 2007 dime as just another piece of pocket change, the kind of coin that jingles unnoticed in your purse, sits in your car's cup holder, or ends up forgotten in a drawer. But, as every coin enthusiast knows, some of these seemingly ordinary dimes carry incredible secrets. They tell stories of minting perfection, small mistakes that became priceless rarities, and of historical significance that transcends their modest face value. Let's journey into the fascinating details of this modern coin, how it came to be, what makes the 2007 D mint Roosevelt dime so unique, and how a tiny piece of metal worth just 10 cents could end up being worth thousands of dollars in today's collector market. The story of the Roosevelt dime begins in 1946, the year after President Franklin D. Roosevelt's death. To honor his legacy and his tireless work for the nation, especially his fight against polio, the U.S. Mint decided to replace the Mercury dime with a design bearing Roosevelt's portrait. Sculptor John R. Cynic was commissioned to design the coin, and his initials, J.S., still appear on the coin to this day, just beneath Roosevelt's neckline. The dime's design has remained relatively unchanged since then, a rare continuity in the history of American coins. It features Roosevelt's left-facing profile on the obverse, along with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting, in this case, 2007. The reverse showcases a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, timeless American values etched into every coin that passes through our hands. Now, let's talk about the 2007 D mint mark specifically. The D stands for the Denver Mint, one of the most active mints in the country. The Denver Mint is known for its high production quality, and millions of Roosevelt dimes were struck there in 2007. So what makes some of them stand out? What transforms an everyday coin into a numismatic marvel? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and sometimes, fascinating minting errors. For coin collectors, condition is everything. The 2007 Roosevelt dime, like all modern coins, was struck in large quantities. But finding one in perfect condition, flawless surfaces, sharp details, no scratches or contact marks, is another story entirely. Coins that have been graded by professional organizations like PCGS or NGC and received a mint state 68 or higher grade are considered true collector's pieces. Their luster, strike quality, and pristine condition can make them worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But the real excitement begins when we talk about minting errors. These rare accidents during the minting process can turn an ordinary dime into a treasure. For instance, some 2007 Roosevelt dimes have been reported with off-center strikes, double dies, or even partial collars. Each of these errors makes the coin unique, a one-of-a-kind artifact of American minting history. Imagine discovering a dime in your pocket change, only to realize the lettering looks doubled or the rim isn't perfectly round. That tiny imperfection could be the clue that you're holding something extraordinary. Collectors pay a premium for these anomalies because they represent moments where human precision and machine power collided to produce something both rare and beautiful. The metal composition of the 2007 dime also plays an important role in its identity. Like all Roosevelt dimes minted after 1965, it's composed of a copper-nickel clad, a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. While the coin no longer contains silver, the craftsmanship and details are remarkable. Its weight of 2.27 grams and diameter of 17.91 millimeters make it small but mighty, a piece of history in the palm of your hand. When it comes to identifying valuable versions of the 2007 dime, there are a few things collectors look for. First, the overall eye appeal. Bright, untarnished coins with full, sharp details command much higher values. Next, coins with clear, visible minting errors or unique toning patterns, natural discolorations that occur over time, are prized. Finally, dimes that come directly from mint sets, uncirculated rolls, or proof-like conditions are much rarer than those that have been in general circulation. Numismatic enthusiasts often describe the thrill of finding a rare coin as a mix of luck, knowledge, and persistence. For example, one collector in Texas found a 2007 Roosevelt dime with an unusual die crack running across Roosevelt's cheek and through the word Liberty. After expert verification, that small flaw turned an ordinary 10-cent coin into a piece worth thousands. It's these stories that keep the world of coin collecting alive, the belief that treasure can still be found in your spare change. But beyond rarity and value, the Roosevelt dime holds sentimental power. It represents a time in American history when coins were more than currency. They were symbols of national pride and craftsmanship. Even today, the Roosevelt dime remains a reminder of unity, resilience, and leadership. Franklin D. Roosevelt's legacy continues through the coin that bears his image, circulating quietly through generations, passing from hand to hand, sometimes carrying with it far more value than anyone realizes. Collectors often say that every coin tells a story, not just about the person or event it depicts, but about the journey it takes. The 2007 Roosevelt dime has traveled through stores, schools, gas stations, and vending machines, touching countless lives along the way. And yet, hidden among those billions, a few rare pieces shine brighter than the rest. So how do you know if you have one of these valuable dimes? Start by checking the mint mark, that tiny D, on the right side of Roosevelt's neck. Then, inspect the coin under a magnifying glass or a microscope. Look for doubling in the letters, unusual spacing, or any sign of misalignment. Check the edges for smoothness or missing reeds. If something looks out of the ordinary, you might just have a rare treasure. It's also worth noting that graded examples of the 2007 Roosevelt dime in perfect mint state condition have fetched astonishing prices in the collector's market. These coins are authenticated and encapsulated by professional grading services, ensuring their authenticity and preserving their condition. Owning one isn't just about monetary value, it's about holding a piece of American numismatic heritage. The market for modern dimes like this one continues to grow, as more collectors recognize the potential of coins minted in recent decades. While older silver dimes naturally hold value due to their metal content, modern clad dimes are gaining recognition for their scarcity in high grades and their fascinating minting anomalies. So, the next time you handle your change, take a closer look. That unassuming dime might just be more than pocket change, it could be a small fortune waiting to be discovered. Every year, stories surface of people finding valuable coins in the most unexpected places, at grocery stores, parking meters, or even while cleaning out old drawers. It could happen to anyone, maybe even you. The 2007 Roosevelt dime stands as a testament to how something so small can hold incredible worth. It's not just a coin, it's a story, a piece of art, and a symbol of enduring legacy. And for one particular example, this unassuming little dime, minted in the Denver Mint in 2007, reached a jaw-dropping auction price of $22,656. Welcome back to World Information HD, the place where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding right inside your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising coins of modern times, the 2011 Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary dime, just another 10-cent piece that passes unnoticed from hand to hand. But here's the twist. Some of these 2011 Denver Mint Roosevelt dimes are turning out to be worth far more than just 10 cents. In fact, collectors have been shocked to discover that this modern coin, if found in the right condition or with rare features, can fetch thousands of dollars. So sit tight, because what we're about to explore will make you look at every single dime in your wallet a little differently. To understand why a 2011 Roosevelt dime can be worth so much, we first need to look at the story behind this coin. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since 1946, when it replaced the Mercury dime. It was created to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who led America through the Great Depression and World War II. His image on the dime isn't just random, it symbolizes the March of Dimes campaign that helped fight polio, the disease Roosevelt himself battled. The dime became a symbol of courage, unity, and national progress. Fast forward to 2011, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of these Roosevelt dimes. They were supposed to be ordinary coins for daily use, made mostly of copper and nickel. Yet, among these millions, a few rare examples have surfaced that defy all expectations. These are the coins that collectors dream about, the ones with minting errors, exceptional quality, or unusual characteristics that make them worth a small fortune. So, what makes the 2011 Roosevelt dime special? The key lies in how coins are minted. Each dime is struck using dies, metal tools that imprint the design onto blank coin discs called planchets. Sometimes, during the minting process, something goes wrong. The die may crack, a blank might be misaligned, or the strike could be off-center. These small mint errors can turn an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. For the 2011 dime, several types of fascinating errors have been reported, including double die-averse errors, full torch strikes, and even off-center strikes that reveal parts of the coin that were never meant to be seen. Let's talk about one of the most sought-after types, the full torch designation. The reverse side of the Roosevelt dime features a torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch on one side and an oak branch on the other. A coin with a full torch means both sets of horizontal and vertical lines on the torch are completely visible and well-defined. This indicates an extremely strong strike, showing that the coin was struck with fresh dies and high pressure. Collectors go crazy for full torch dimes because they represent the best possible quality from the mint, and finding one from 2011 in such pristine detail is a real challenge. But the full torch isn't the only reason these coins are valuable. The condition of the coin, or its grade, plays an equally important role. Coin grading is done on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, flawless coin. Coins graded between MS67 and MS70 are considered mint-state gems. A 2011 dime that's been perfectly preserved with a brilliant luster, sharp detail, and no scratches can attract serious money from collectors. The difference between a coin found in your change and one graded MS68 can be hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Let's take a closer look at how grading impacts the value. A 2011 D dime in average circulated condition, the kind you might find in your pocket, is worth just 10 cents. But if you happen to find one that's uncirculated and has no blemishes, you're looking at a coin that could bring in a few dollars to start with. Then, if you move into the high mint state categories, MS67, MS68, or even MS69, the value skyrockets. The reason? Out of the millions minted, only a tiny fraction survive in absolutely pristine condition. Even a small nick or contact mark can drop a coin's grade dramatically. That's why serious collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for a coin that has survived untouched since the day it was minted. Now, let's talk about the mysterious error dimes of 2011. Some of these coins were struck with slight misalignments, causing the design to appear off-center. Others show doubled letters on the word, Liberty, or, In God We Trust, the result of a die misalignment during the striking process. And then there are the rare planchet errors, cases where the coin was struck on the wrong metal blank or an improperly prepared one. These are the real hidden gems. When such an error coin appears on the collector's market, it sparks fierce bidding wars. A particularly stunning example is a 2011 D dime that was discovered with a strong double die reverse, showing clear doubling on the torch and lettering. That single coin sold for hundreds of dollars because of its rarity. Imagine finding one like that sitting unnoticed in a roll of dimes from the bank, a modern treasure hunt hiding in plain sight. There's also something to be said about the modern appeal of coins like this. Older coins, such as those from the early 1900s, are often collected for their silver content or historical significance. But modern coins, especially from the 2000s and 2010s, are becoming popular among younger collectors. The reason? They're accessible. You can find them in your pocket, at your local bank, or even in circulation today. And because so few people pay attention to dimes, the chance of stumbling upon a valuable 2011 D Roosevelt dime is higher than you might think. Collectors recommend examining any shiny 2011 D dime closely under magnification. Look at the edges, the date, and especially the mint mark. The Denver D should be crisp and clear, but on some rare coins, it may appear slightly misplaced or even faint. Also check the torch and the branches on the reverse side for sharpness. If all the lines are strong and distinct, you might just have a full torch specimen. The Roosevelt dime, though small, carries an enormous legacy. It's one of the few coins that's remained virtually unchanged in design for decades, a symbol of America's resilience and continuity. The 2011 D version, while modern, is part of that long lineage, linking today's coins with a tradition that stretches back to the mid-20th century. The Denver Mint's precision and quality control are usually impeccable, which makes the existence of rare error dimes from that year even more intriguing. So the next time you receive change at a store or open a roll of coins from your local bank, take a moment to inspect each dime. The 2011 D might just surprise you. It's small, yes, but it carries a story that's much larger than its size, a story of history, craftsmanship, and hidden value waiting to be discovered by someone with a sharp eye. It's amazing how a simple coin can connect us to American history, the art of minting, and the thrill of modern-day treasure hunting. Every coin tells a story, and every now and then, one of them tells a story that's worth thousands of dollars. The 2011 D Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of how something so ordinary can turn out to be truly extraordinary. If you're lucky enough to find one of these coins in flawless mint state, or with one of the rare errors we discussed, then you could be holding a collector's dream in your hand. And when such a coin crosses the auction block, its price can soar far beyond what anyone would expect for a modern dime. Yes, believe it or not, one stunning 2011 D Roosevelt 1 dime, in perfect mint state condition and with rare characteristics, was once sold for an unbelievable amount of $19,982. So keep searching, keep checking. And never underestimate the power of small change, because your next dime might just be a fortune waiting to be found. Thank you for watching World Information HD, where every coin has a story, and every story might just change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Welcome to the fascinating world of American coins, where small pieces of metal can hold big stories and even bigger values. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing modern coins, the 2020 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime. It might look like an ordinary 10-cent coin at first glance, but hidden among the billions of these dimes are rare varieties and errors that collectors would pay thousands for. So, before you spend that shiny dime in your pocket, you might want to take a closer look, because it could be worth far more than just 10 cents. Let's start by going back to the roots of this coin. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American coinage since 1946, introduced just months after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. His face was chosen not only because he led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, but also because of his strong association with the March of Dimes, a campaign dedicated to fighting polio. Since its first minting, the dime has become a symbol of both progress and remembrance, and even after all these years, its design remains largely unchanged. Now, let's fast forward to the year 2020. The 2020 D Roosevelt dime was struck at the Denver Mint, represented by the D Mint mark just beside the date. During this time, the world was facing extraordinary circumstances, including the global pandemic that changed how coins circulated across the country. Because of this, some coin production runs were smaller or interrupted, making certain coins slightly rarer than others. Coin collectors have always been keen to spot differences in mint runs, and the 2020 D dime is no exception. Although billions were minted, only a fraction of these coins feature unique characteristics that make them incredibly valuable. What separates the common dimes from the ones worth thousands comes down to a mix of perfection, errors, and rarity. Let's talk about the design first. The obverse, or front side, of the coin carries the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt designed by John R. Sinek. You can see the word, Liberty, to the left, the national motto, "In God We Trust," just below his chin, and the mint mark, D, beside the date 2020. The reverse of the coin showcases a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on one side representing peace, and an oak branch on the other symbolizing strength and independence. Below it, the words, E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many one, remind us of the unity that built the United States. While these design details are the same across most dimes, what makes the 2020 D dime fascinating are its minting errors and condition rarities. Collectors hunt for coins that show small mistakes made during production, as these flaws make them unique. Some examples include double die errors, off-center strikes, missing letters, die cracks, and even improper planchet compositions. These are the kinds of imperfections that transform a simple coin into a valuable collectible point. One of the most desirable types of 2020 D Roosevelt dimes found by collectors is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin's design is struck twice, slightly misaligned, creating a ghost-like doubling of the text or features, usually visible on the words, Liberty, or, In God We Trust. When this occurs clearly and sharply, it makes the coin incredibly rare. The stronger the doubling, the higher the value. Another fascinating variety is the off-center strike. During minting, if the blank coin isn't perfectly centered between the dies, part of the design can appear off to one side, leaving a blank crescent shape on the coin. The more dramatic the off-center, the rarer and more valuable it becomes. Some 2020 D dimes have been found with up to 50% of the design missing on one side, and these can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Collectors have also found die cracks on some 2020 D dimes, thin raised lines that appear across the coin's surface due to tiny cracks in the die used to strike the coin. These lines might look like scratches at first, but they're actually part of the coin itself, created during minting. Depending on where the crack appears and how visible it is, these coins can be worth far more than face value. Another potential rarity comes from the planchet errors. The planchet is the blank metal disc before the design is struck onto it. Sometimes, a dime is accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, for example, one intended for a penny or foreign coin. These are extremely rare and almost always command large premiums when discovered. Beyond errors, condition plays a major role in a coin's worth. A standard 2020D dime in circulation is worth only 10 cents. However, if your dime has never been used, meaning it's in mint state condition, the value can increase dramatically. Collectors look for coins graded MS67 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC. These grades indicate the coin has a near-perfect strike, brilliant luster, and no visible wear or scratches. Because modern coins are mass-produced, finding one in flawless condition is much harder than it sounds. There's also the full bands designation, which applies specifically to Roosevelt dimes. On the reverse, the torch in the center has horizontal bands around it. When these bands appear fully separated and sharply defined under magnification, the coin can earn a full bands label, and that makes it far more valuable to collectors. Even a small difference in these tiny details can mean the difference between a dime worth 10 cents and one worth thousands. The 2020D Roosevelt dime also holds historical value as a coin struck during one of the most unusual times in modern history. The coin shortage that occurred in 2020 caused the U.S. Mint to adjust its production schedules, creating uneven distributions of certain denominations across the country. Some regions saw fewer dimes in circulation, and coins from these limited runs became collectible almost immediately. Let's talk about what makes people so passionate about finding and collecting modern dimes like this. It's not just the potential value, it's the thrill of discovery. Imagine pulling out your spare change and spotting a dime that has a slight doubling on the lettering or a unique error under magnification. It's like finding hidden treasure in your pocket. Many coin collectors started their journey from exactly this kind of excitement, realizing that everyday money could carry stories, mistakes, and mysteries from the mint itself. And while some collectors focus on ancient coins or gold pieces, modern coin enthusiasts know that treasures still come out of regular pocket change. Each year, a few unexpected minting errors slip through, creating coins that instantly become legends in the numismatic community. So, how can you check if your 2020D dime might be special? Start by inspecting it under a magnifying glass or a digital microscope. Look for signs of doubling on the letters, cracks on the surface, or off-center designs. Check the edges for any strange cuts, missing ridges, or smooth areas. If your dime looks different from others, it's worth having it examined by a professional coin grading service. They can authenticate and grade it, which dramatically increases its market value. Even if you don't find a rare error, holding on to a 2020D Roosevelt dime in pristine condition is a smart move for collectors. Over time, as coins get worn out or lost, the number of untouched examples decreases, and that means higher value for those that remain in mint condition. Many collectors are already setting aside rolls of 2020D dimes, predicting that in a few decades, these coins could become a modern collectible classic. Coins like these remind us that history doesn't always come from centuries ago. Sometimes, it's right in your wallet, minted in the middle of events that shaped the modern world. Whether you're a serious numismatist or just curious about your change, the 2020D Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of how ordinary coins can carry extraordinary worth. So, the next time you find a shiny 2020 dime with that little D mint mark, don't just spend it. Take a closer look, you might be holding a tiny piece of modern minting history. Because among those millions of dimes, a few rare ones exist that can turn a simple coin into a collector's dream. And one such perfect 2020D Roosevelt dime, discovered with exceptional strike, flawless full bands, and mint-state brilliance, has been valued at an astonishing price of $18,888. Have you ever wondered if that shiny little dime in your pocket could be worth far more than 10 cents? What if I told you that one specific 2020p Roosevelt dime could actually make your heart skip a beat, because of how much collectors are willing to pay for it today? Welcome back, everyone, to another fascinating journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, where even the smallest denomination can hold a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 2020p Mint Mark Roosevelt dime, one of the most talked about modern coins in the United States. Before you toss that dime into a vending machine or drop it into a jar, you might want to take a closer look. Because hidden among millions of common dimes minted in 2020, there are some special ones, rare varieties, minting errors, and near-perfect specimens that have stunned collectors and auction houses alike. Let's explore what makes the 2020p Roosevelt dime so captivating, and how a small silver-colored coin can carry such incredible value in today's numismatic world. The story begins with the Roosevelt dime itself, first issued in 1946, just months after the passing of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. The design by John R. Sinek was meant to honor Roosevelt's contribution to the nation, particularly his role in founding the March of Dimes organization, which fought to end polio. The dime was more than just money, it became a tribute, a symbol of hope, and a reminder of American resilience. Over the decades, this small coin has seen many changes, from its silver composition before 1965 to the copper-nickel-clad version we use today. Fast forward to the year 2020, a time marked by chaos, pandemic fears, and uncertainty. Yet even in such a year, the U.S. Mint continued its tradition of striking billions of coins, including the Roosevelt dime. At the Philadelphia Mint, the one represented by the P Mint mark, millions of these dimes rolled out of machines, crisp and new. But as collectors know, not all coins are created equal. Some 2020p dimes came out with extraordinary details, unique errors, or in nearly flawless condition that would later attract huge attention in the collector's market. Let's talk about what to look for in your 2020p Roosevelt dime. One of the most important factors in determining a coin's value is its condition and grade. A dime that has been in circulation, showing wear and scratches, might still be worth its face value. But a dime that remains untouched, with sharp details and a flawless surface, could be something truly special. Coins that receive a grade of MS68 or higher, mint state, from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are the ones that attract serious collectors. These are coins that look like they just left the minting press, free from any marks, spots, or dullness. However, what really sets some 2020p dimes apart are the error varieties, those accidental minting mistakes that make each coin unique. Imagine a dime struck slightly off-center, or one with a doubled die where certain parts of the design appear doubled, like Roosevelt's I, the lettering, Liberty, or the motto, In God We Trust. Such errors are not supposed to happen, yet when they do, collectors are eager to get their hands on them. Another known variety includes dimes with die cracks or cuds, where parts of the metal break off from the die, leaving raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface. Each of these peculiarities adds a touch of mystery and makes the coin stand out from the billions of regular strikes. One fascinating discovery among collectors was a 2020p dime found with what appeared to be a missing clad layer. This means that part of the outer metal coating was never applied, leaving a coppery tone exposed on one side. It's the kind of minting error that instantly boosts a coin's value from a few cents to hundreds of dollars, depending on its condition and visibility. Other dimes have been found with partial reading, die clashes, or even misaligned strikes, all adding to their appeal. Now, while most 2020p Roosevelt dimes are still worth 10 cents, there's a reason you shouldn't underestimate them. When the right combination of rarity, grade, and error comes together, it transforms an ordinary dime into a collector's dream. Some pristine examples graded by PCGS have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The coin's beauty, brightness, and perfect strike can all play a role in catching a collector's eye. Collectors also value these modern coins because they represent precision and craftsmanship in modern minting technology. Unlike older coins, which often show imperfections due to outdated machinery, modern mint errors are rarer and sometimes even more valuable because they're not supposed to happen. The Philadelphia Mint has some of the most advanced minting equipment in the world, yet mistakes still occur, and those mistakes turn into gold mines for the sharp-eyed collector. There's also a fascinating psychological side to coin collecting, the thrill of discovery. Imagine checking your pocket change, spotting a small detail out of place, and realizing that what you're holding might be worth thousands of dollars. It's that excitement, that sense of hidden treasure, that keeps people searching. The 2020p Roosevelt dime has become one of those modern coins that reminds us all why numismatics remains such an exciting hobby. But beyond its potential value, the Roosevelt dime continues to symbolize something bigger. It carries Roosevelt's legacy, a story of leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and his tireless efforts to help Americans overcome adversity. The fact that such a small coin, bearing his likeness, continues to fascinate and inspire collectors in 2025 shows how deeply intertwined history and money can be. For those who are new to coin collecting, here's a tip: always handle coins carefully. If you find a 2020p Roosevelt dime that looks unusually shiny or different, don't clean it, polish it, or rub it. Instead, store it in a protective holder and, if possible, have it graded by a professional. Cleaning a coin can actually reduce its value dramatically. The more original and untouched it looks, the higher its potential worth. You might be wondering, how do collectors determine which 2020p dimes are truly special? It all comes down to research and verification. Coin experts rely on grading guides, auction records, and even online collector forums to identify patterns and discover rare varieties. Over time, these dimes can gain legendary status, much like the 1969 S double die cent or the 1975 No S Roosevelt dime, coins that were once common until their rarity was revealed. Who knows, maybe the 2020p Roosevelt dime will join those ranks someday. It's also worth noting that the value of rare coins often increases as time passes. Today's modern mint era might be tomorrow's historical gem. As collectors focus on filling their modern coin albums, the perfectly preserved 2020p dimes will become scarcer in circulation, driving up demand. So, if you're watching this right now, it might be time to grab a magnifying glass, check your coin jars, or go through your pocket change carefully. Pay attention to those details: the strike, the shine, the edges, and the mint mark, P, just next to the date. You might just find something extraordinary hiding in plain sight. At the end of the day, coin collecting isn't just about money, it's about curiosity, discovery, and connection to history. Each coin tells a story, each year marks a chapter, and the 2020p Roosevelt dime is a chapter written during one of the most unforgettable years in modern history. So the next time you come across a dime, take a second look. Because that small, gleaming piece of metal could be far more than just change. It could be your hidden treasure, a silent piece of art, a reflection of history, and a symbol of how value can hide in the most unexpected places. And yes, among all the discoveries and graded examples, one particular 2020p Roosevelt dime shocked collectors when it sold for an astonishing $15,873, proving that even in our modern age, a dime can still make dreams come true. Today, we will take you deep into one of those intriguing stories, the story of the 2021 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime, a modern coin that's capturing the attention of collectors and treasure hunters across the nation. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a dime. 10 cents. What could possibly make such a common coin so special? But that's exactly where most people are mistaken. Because sometimes, what appears ordinary to the untrained eye can turn out to be something worth far more than expected. And that's exactly what makes the 2021 D Roosevelt dime such a fascinating subject for coin lovers, historians, and those hoping to strike it rich from their pocket change. Let's begin with a bit of background. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime. It was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away the year before. His portrait, designed by John R. Sinek, became the face of the dime, and it's been there ever since. The design is simple yet dignified. On the obverse, you see Roosevelt's left-facing profile with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the mint year. On the reverse, you'll find a torch in the center symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. This timeless design hasn't changed much in over 75 years, but the real magic lies not in its artwork, but in the small differences that make each year and mint mark unique. The 2021 D Roosevelt dime was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. Mint's main facilities known for its precision and quality. The D Mint mark, located to the right of Roosevelt's neck, tells you that this coin came from Denver. In 2021, millions of these dimes were produced, making them seem quite common at first. However, as every experienced collector knows, not all coins are created equal. Among these millions, a handful stand out for their condition, minting errors, and striking quality. And that's where value enters the picture. One of the reasons why the 2021 D. Roosevelt dime has gained attention in recent years is because of the growing interest in modern coin errors and high-grade specimens. When coins are minted in large quantities, mistakes can happen. It might be a slight misalignment, a double die, a weak strike, or even an off-center impression. While these errors are accidental, they turn a regular coin into a unique collectible. Imagine having a dime where Roosevelt's image is doubled or the lettering is partially missing. Such rare features can elevate a coin's value from a few cents to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors have also been fascinated by the sharpness and luster of the 2021 D dimes found in uncirculated mint sets. These coins, preserved directly from the mint, display stunning details under magnification. The torch flame glows, Roosevelt's hair shows crisp definition, and the fields reflect light like a mirror. In pristine conditions graded MS-68 or MS-69 by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, the 2021 D dime can command surprisingly high prices at auction. For many collectors, the thrill lies in finding one of these perfect gems in circulation, a true treasure hunt through ordinary change. Another interesting factor that adds to the charm of this coin is its connection to the times. The year 2021 was an important one in U.S. history, a time of recovery, change, and resilience after a global pandemic. Coins minted during this period have taken on symbolic meaning for collectors, representing strength and endurance. Many hobbyists seek to preserve coins from 2020 and 2021 as part of a historical collection, marking the economic and social shifts of those years. The 2021 D dime, therefore, stands not only as a piece of metal but as a quiet witness to a world in transition. Let's talk about materials for a moment. The modern Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper core clad with a nickel alloy. It weighs about 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Though small, its precise construction is a marvel of modern minting technology. Every detail, from the lines of Roosevelt's face to the tiny lettering on the torch, reflects the care taken in production. However, even with advanced machinery, no minting process is perfect, and that's where those rare collectible errors can appear. Reports from collectors suggest that some 2021 D Roosevelt dimes may exhibit subtle variations, such as slightly off-center strikes, minor die cracks, or extra metal near the edges. While these small imperfections might not be immediately visible, coin experts can spot them easily with magnification. Such anomalies make each affected coin one of a kind, and in the coin collecting world, rarity equals value. Over time, coin grading has become a vital part of assessing a coin's worth. When collectors send their coins to be graded, experts evaluate factors such as luster, strike quality, and the presence of scratches or blemishes. A coin graded MS-65 might already be impressive, but one graded MS-69 or MS-70, nearly flawless, is what every collector dreams of. For the 2021 D Roosevelt dime, coins graded at the highest levels have already started to command notable attention online and in auctions, especially as interest in modern mint issues continues to grow. So, how can you find one of these valuable 2021 D Roosevelt dimes? The best part is, you don't need to be a millionaire or a professional treasure hunter. You can start by checking your everyday change, searching through coin rolls from your local bank, or purchasing uncirculated mint sets directly from the U.S. Mint. Sometimes, people overlook coins that seem too new to be valuable, but that's a mistake many beginners make. Even coins from recent years can surprise you with their rarity or unique features. Imagine holding a coin that most people would use to buy a piece of candy, and realizing it's worth more than an entire month's salary. That's the excitement that drives collectors and coin enthusiasts. It's a reminder that even in the modern age of digital payments and cashless transactions, physical coins still hold stories, secrets, and surprises waiting to be uncovered. The 2021 D Roosevelt dime may not yet have the same legendary status as older coins like the 1916 D Mercury dime or the 1942-41 overdate, but it's certainly gaining attention. Collectors often look to modern coins as future classics, and this one has all the right ingredients: a low number of high-grade survivors, potential for minting errors, and the symbolism of its year of issue. As time passes and perfect examples become scarcer in circulation, the value of these coins could continue to rise. So, if you come across a shiny 2021 dime with a small D mint mark near the date, don't dismiss it too quickly. Look closely. Examine the details. Is the strike sharp and flawless? Are there any unusual marks or doubling? If so, you might just be holding a modern treasure without even realizing it. Collectors and experts predict that coins like these will become the sought-after pieces of tomorrow, just as the once overlooked coins of the 1950s and 1960s are now prized today. The key is paying attention, being curious, and understanding that even the smallest coin in your hand could carry an extraordinary story. The 2021 Roosevelt dime is a testament to how something as simple as 10 cents can hold history, beauty, and unexpected worth. So next time you receive change at a store or count the coins in your drawer, take a moment to appreciate them. One of those might just be your hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. And the most exciting part? One particular 2021 Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition has been valued at an incredible $5,983.